All right, let's get this streaming thing going. Let me let everybody know over here. We're getting it in early, guys. We're on time. We're on time tonight, baby. Y'all come on in here. I'm just letting everybody know on the gram that we're doing our thing live right now. How y'all doing, man? I'm giving y'all a minute to go and drop up in the room. Giving y'all a minute to come on in the room. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. Giving y'all a minute to come on in the room. I hope you guys are having a great weekend. I am Tariq Nasheed. Glad to have y'all tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Everybody come on in. Everybody come on in. Hold on. Still trying to get this thing popping. Excuse me. All right. So let everybody know that we're live right now. Hit that thumbs up button. Hit that like button, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Let social media know that I'm doing my thing right now. I hope you guys had a great week. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are not subscribed to this channel, I need you to subscribe to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Subscribe to this channel. I'm letting social media know I'm live right now. Hold on one second. Live right now. I am going All right, sorry about that, guys. I hate all this dead air. Hold on. I'm trying to type a lot while I'm doing all this stuff. Hold on, I'm misspelling shit. Hold on. All right, while I'm talking and while I'm typing, hit the thumbs up button, hit the like button. Bam. Let me do that, and then let me post it up on Facebook. And once I do that, guys, I'm yours, and we're ready, and we're good to go. I hate for some reason I can't do all this stuff until I go live. So this kind of, takes a few minutes of my time, but nevertheless, it's 7:01 on the West Coast, 10:01 on the East Coast. So when we're here, today's main topic we're going to be talking about different groups latching on to FBA culture. That's going to be the general theme of tonight's broadcast. We're talking about other groups who latch on to foundational Black American culture and how that is a problem, because part of foundational Black American culture is allowing people to take credit for our culture. Yeah? That's one part of the problem. Somebody said, does YouTube have me shadow banned? What's up, Nigel? Shout out to my dude, colleague. Shout out to you and colleague down there in Atlanta. All right, y'all come on in at 7:30 my time. It's 7:02 here in LA now. At 7:30, we're going to be showing the world premiere of the Buck Breaking trailer. Some people are saying that I'm shadow banned. That's why y'all need to let everybody know that we're live right now. Y'all need to let everybody know that we're live. Let people climb on in the room, because we have a lot to talk about on tonight's broadcast. One thing I want to touch on, there's so much I got to cover so much tonight. I don't even know where to start. Let me say this. Speaking of latching onto our culture, out there in New York, there was a sister who got attacked by some dusty niggas. Some dusty dudes attacked this sister out there in New York, in Harlem. Oh, what did Amanda Seales say this time? Oh, we're going to get into that hip-hop conversation, too. And shout out to everybody hitting the Cash App. The Cash App, $KingFlex818. Shout out to everybody hitting the Cash App. But shout out to Voice Rogers. Shout out to my dude Voice. We're going to be talking about that hip-hop conversation. But let me say this. Out there in New York, in Harlem, a sister was at a store and some dusty dudes ran up on her trying to spit at her. She rejected their advances, so they went outside and they attacked the sister. One of the dudes, I think he started biting her. He tried to bite her eye out, and it's a whole mess. And from what I understand, those dudes, they've done stuff like that before. I know there was a march out there in front of the liquor store. Some brothers and sisters in the community was like, hey, we got to stand up to this type of stuff, and I agree. But we're going to have to hit that elephant in the room. Oh, we're going to have to hit the elephant in the room. Family, this smells like, I smell tether juice. I smell tether juice. And I've been saying that on social media. I said, these dudes, the way they look, their swag and their actions, that look like some non-FBA dust bucket nonsense. Yeah, I went there. Yes, I went there. I said, this looks like some non-FBA stuff right here. Looking at their surveillance video of them dudes, their swag, they don't really have our type of swag. I'm thinking I'm smelling tether juice. Oh, I got some people hot. I got some people hot on my Twitter, like, oh, damn it, why are you being so divisive? No. No, when I smell tether juice and tether type actions, y'all, we ain't claiming you. See, that's the problem. That is the problem, people. When folks do little bugged out stuff like this, it gets dumped on all of these foundational Black Americans. Nah, we don't want that. From what I understand, that area over there is full of a lot of immigrants. Over there, where my New Yorkers? Where my people from Harlem? Ain't that over there by St. Nick Projects? I don't know too much. I go to New York a lot, but from what I understand, it's a lot of Dominicans over there. Definitely a lot of Caribbean cats living over there. See, we're going to have to call it. We're going to have to call that. We're going to have to call it and look at what this thing is most likely a byproduct of. Yeah, that's some non-FBA type of stuff. When dudes going around biting chicks who ain't giving you no rhythm. That's non-FBA. And we do not have to take the brunt of that. We can distance ourselves from that whole lineage. But ain't that over? Didn't it happen over there at St. Nick Projects? Where my Harlem people? No? There's a lot of immigrant tethers who live over there. I ain't saying all of you bad. I'm going to get on, I'll talk about Danny Lee in a minute. Ain't nobody saying everybody's bad or whatever. But listen, y'all gonna have to hold your own nuts on that. Y'all not gonna hide behind us. See, this type of stuff is what I'm talking about. People do all this old bugged out, weird ass stuff, and then they come jump and hide behind us. And then it becomes, oh, how come black men out here doing all this? Nah. No. That's y'all. These are some different types of Negroes. Just like how they would talk about how to remember Tyrannosaurus Burke and all them talking about how they be harassed in New York. We can't walk around New York. Tarana Burke talking about how much niggas be harassing her and sexually harassing her in New York. No, you better call that what it is. Foundational Black American men ain't harassing no damn Tarana Burke, all right? Don't put that on us. Don't put that on us. Yeah? It's not too far from Denny Mo's, right? Oh, let's talk about it. Dude, running up biting chicks, that don't sound like us. We don't do that now. I know for a fact they be doing that in certain African countries and the Caribbean. They just chick do something you don't like, you bite her ass. Yeah, I've seen some of that type of stuff in the Caribbean. Where dude get the biting chicks and all this and putting spirits on our ass and doing all types of stuff. Yeah, that ain't really our stilo. That ain't really our style, dude. And somebody tried to bring up, well, nigga, what about Chris Brown? He beat Rihanna. Well, look, Rihanna was whooping his ass. That's different. They were in a relationship. They were in a car, and Rihanna said that she instigated that whole thing, not to justify it, but Rihanna said she started the fight with Chris Brown. I instigated it. She admitted it, and then she was in there beating the shit out of Chris Brown. He got scared and started biting and scratching. Chris didn't know what to do, but that ain't like just running up on random people, biting them in the damn streets. That's totally damn different. That's totally different. I think it's biting chick. What kind of bullshit is that? That ain't us. Look, let me tell you something. Part of foundational Black American culture is having a smooth mouthpiece, all right? Part of foundational Black American culture is having a smooth mouthpiece. You understand? You talk your way up on it. You ain't gonna bite your way up on it, man. You gonna, yeah, Chris Brown was in that car fighting for his life. No, Brianna probably headbutted him with all that forehead. He'd like, shit. Bomba Clyde. You don't know what Rihanna was in there doing to Chris Brown in that car. He didn't know what to do. Not to justify that, but damn. Even she admitted she started it. You get headbutted by Rihanna's ass. I mean, shit. You know, it's fight or flight. You don't know what you're going to do. But foundational Black Americans, listen, we pride ourselves. We pride ourselves on having the mouthpiece crisp. If we get played, cool. If we don't, all right, peace then. But all that jumping a chick and biting on her and all, no, that ain't us, dude. No. Notice that type of stuff where dudes be biting and attacking random women like that. That happens. Let's keep it real. That happens in a lot of places where there's a lot of non-FBA. FBA brothers, I mean, we got some knuckleheads. We do. But for the most part, man, we pride ourselves on just kind of keeping it cool, keeping that thing pimping, keeping it mackish. Like out here, you don't see dudes doing that type of stuff. Yeah? You don't see that type of thing. Yeah? So, I mean, cats can get mad all they want to, but that just don't sound like FBA type of behavior. Our behavior is different. We ain't trying to bite on people and all that shit. If we can't back up on you, we just charge that to the game and go holler at the next one. No, we don't have all that crazy ass angry energy. Just keep it a buck, man. See, a lot of stuff that gets dumped on Black society comes from all of these other groups. Man, we're going to have to call it for what it is. Like this whole Danny Lee situation with this Dominican chick. And from what I understand, this Danny Lee chick is Dominican. Now, let's be clear. What the hell does Danny Lee do? What is she actually known for? Because, see, a lot of these immigrant-run gossip sites, they elevate these non-FBA Latinas. It was really a lot of them elevating the Cardi B's. But a lot of these folks who run Shade Room and all of these other media takeouts and all of these non-FBA gossip sites, the countries they come from have a lot of colorism where the lighter people are worshipped as gods. The white people are real gods. The lighter people are semi-gods because they have these communities of light-skinned people who are the buffer classes in these countries, especially in the Caribbean. So this Danny Lee chick, I can't really say what the hell she does. I know she's dating the rapper DaBaby. She doesn't really do anything. Just one of these chicks that twerk on Twitter and Instagram and all this stuff. She's a rapper. No, I heard her stuff. She's not a rapper. So she's just one of these chicks who's famous for being, a Spanish chick. She's from Miami. Okay. So it's one of these vixen type of chicks. She did a song with Chris Brown. Okay. She did a song with Chris Brown. But yeah, she's Dominican from what I understand. She's Dominican from what I understand. So they elevate this type of chick. They elevate this broad. And these people, man, let's be clear. A lot of these Dominican folks, they really don't identify as Black. If you look at their paperwork, it all says white. Don't let them fool you. The shit says white. So these people get propped up and elevated just for being mixed or light or Spanish mixed. They just get elevated for that, just like Amber Rose. Amber Rose just got elevated literally for nothing, for dating niggas and being hella light. And remember, for a long time, Amber Rose would say, I'm not black at all. No, I ain't black. I'm Cape Verdean, which is an island full of niggas. But, oh, Lord, no, I'm not black. So they go out of their way to play that game. And a lot of these Sambos and Mammies, especially from these non-FBA backgrounds, they elevate that type of stuff. It's the lightness. It's really the lightness of it. So this Danny Lee chick, understanding the light worship that goes on with a lot of these other communities, especially that whole gossip crowd community, how they worship lightness, she understands what it is. She understands what it is. So she made a song about being light-skinned. So the Danny Lee chick made a song about being light-skinned. Now, she's really, if you look at her paperwork, that woman probably classifies herself as white. So she made a song talking about she's light-skinned. Here's the problem with that. The song was extremely whack. The song was very whack, and that was the problem. That was the problem. Everybody say what's up to Ola in the house. Shout out to my dude Ola in the house. Ola's in here heavy. So she made a song about light skin, being light skinned, how she's fine and light skinned, and it was extremely whack. It was some mumble rap type of goofball nonsense. It was real whack. That was the problem. The problem was it was whack. If you do something like that, here's the thing. If you are a light-skinned female or mixed female or whatever, and you got two options, okay? If you're trying to get into the hip-hop game and talk about your light-skinnedness, okay? You got two options, okay? If you are a light-skinned mixed chick or Latina mix, and you're trying to get into the hip-hop game and appeal to this gossip generation crowd, you got two options. Number one, you better come out and if you talk about being light-skinned and red bone and all that, your joint better be hot. You got to be hot. For example, there's a female rapper out now called Mulatto. Now, that's a real strange name, but the thing with Mulatto has hot records. Got to give her that. This Mulatto chick, she can spit and her records are hot. She makes hot songs. So she gets a pass for being named Mulatto. And even she knows that name is kind of a problem. So she kind of chops it up like Big Lotto and, she kind of switches that thing up. So you got to come out hot with it if you're going to be talking about your mulatto and all this stuff. And some people are trying to compare, like people using the term light skin or red bone. Remember, red bone, those are names for Native Americans. Remember? Red bone, those were light-skinned Native Americans who look like light-skinned black people. That's where the term red bone comes from. It was an Indian tribe. Because remember, a lot of the Indian Aboriginal tribes they had the same phenotype as black people today. We really got to drive that point home. A lot of the Aboriginal people on this land have the same phenotype that black people have today. Black people or the native people were oftentimes just reclassified as Negro freemen in order to erase our birthright. Yellow bone, all of that stuff. These were actually Native Americans who looked black, where you could see the black phenotype in them. So they just later on said, okay, this is a Negro. Fuck all that red bone and yellow bone and Melungian and all of these terms, okay? So, like I said, if you come out, you light skin and you mulatto, you better come out hot with some hot fire. You can't come out mumbling. Another thing, if you're going to be talking about you light skin, red bone, all this stuff, unfortunately, you have to be hella ghetto. And that's an unfortunate thing. In order to be accepted, you got to come out extremely, almost over-exaggerated with that hood rat nonsense to a certain degree. You dig? you got to come out acting like a full-blown hood rat. For example, that light-skinned Keisha. There's a rapper named Light-Skinned Keisha. And Light-Skinned Keisha, she acts real hood, almost very hood ratish. In fact, she was on the show Power, the new season of Power, pretty much acting like a hood rat. And also, she's not really light-skinned, which is very interesting. She's not really a light-skinned chick, but you got to be hella ghetto. See, that's how light-skinned or mixed chicks will be accepted by a lot of this gossip column type of generation. This is why a lot of hood chicks like Keisha Cole. Keisha Cole, the reason why she's a hood favorite, because Keisha Cole comes out acting real hood. She's a real hood chick. All right? So a lot of people can identify, or they think they can identify with Keisha Cole. Did y'all see the Ashanti Keisha Cole verses? They both look great. Oh, I went there. We calling it what it is. We're calling it what it is. Yeah. For example, look at Leechy X. Look how ratchet she has to act. Look at Leechy X. Yeah? Look at Leechy X and how stupid she acts in order to gain an audience. Every word has to be some expletive. You have to just sound like a complete moron. Yeah? I saw a little bit of the verses. They both look good, and I liked it because it was kind of a train wreck. They couldn't pull it together. It was problems here, problems there, mic problems here. But it was great. That's the appeal of verses. That is the appeal of verses. What makes verses good? It's not perfect. It's like people kicking it online, and you're going to have mistakes, just like with Teddy Riley and Babyface. That's the appeal of the verses thing. And let's be clear, I didn't watch the whole thing, but let me say, from what I saw, Keisha was getting washed by Ashanti. Nigga, Ashanti was washing Keisha. From what I saw, did y'all see the whole thing? I didn't see the whole thing, but I'm like, and I'm rooting for Keisha. I like Keisha's catalog better. But I'm watching it. I'm like, damn. Keisha's kind of getting washed a little bit. She was having trouble with her breast top, trying to keep her titties in order. It was a struggle. Yeah. And Ashanti was fly with it, just doing her thing. But I digress as far as that. Ashanti won, yeah. It looked like she was winning. Shit, Ashanti was killing it. Yeah. And people were talking about Keisha Cole's attitude and all this old stuff. Yeah, see, all that stank attitude is what a lot of light-skinned girls have to get into to keep people off of them. Because, see, light-skinned girls, especially when they grow up in the hood, people try to test them. So you got to be extra ratchet, to get folks up out of you. You got to get folks off you. You got to be hella ratchet. You got to watch out for them light-skinned chicks, especially them light-skinned chicks from the hood. They're hella ratchet. But like I said, up there in New York, and look, we're gonna show the buck breaking trailer. 7 minutes, guys. Y'all hit the like button, hit that thumbs up button, hit the like button, hit the thumbs up button. We're gonna be showing the trailer for buck breaking in 7 minutes, guys. Get ready. But like I was saying, man, the theme of today, we're talking about how other groups latch on to foundational Black Americans, and we sit there and allow these people to latch on and to denigrate our culture and to flip our culture and to extrapolate our culture and co-opt our culture and then turn around and tell us that we don't have a culture. You see? That's a problem. And we think, again, we're going to co-sign the Democrats and the Bidens and all these people allowing other groups to come over here to replace us, thinking that they're going to see the humanity in us and then turn around and reciprocate, and that's just not going to happen. Family, as we have seen, Joe Biden all this week, he's been signing executive orders for everybody except foundational Black Americans. Family, they're letting, the name of the game is to let so many immigrants over to undermine the Black vote. Family, and another thing, I've been looking at reports where they're sending a lot of immigrants to Georgia. They're setting it up now where they're going to send a lot of immigrants to Georgia. Family, that is not a coincidence. You know why they're doing that? Because that's where a large number of Black people were able to swing the vote. So, family, you're going to start seeing all of these immigrants start to be brung in, and they're going to put them right in the same areas where Black people had a voting stronghold. Family, this is a big old finesse, and the fact that Black folks sat here and co-signed it, that's a problem. Black people co-sign stuff just to be a part of the mix. See, Black folks don't want to be left out. They understand that Negroes have a party mentality, meaning we just want to come to the party. We'll sneak into the party just to be a part of something. See, we got to get off that mentality and start saying, no, we don't want to come to your joint. See, that's power. Family, ladies, let me talk to the ladies. Ladies, you ever go out with your girls and, you know, you might go out every blue moon and you see the same niggas at the club? Ladies, do you go out sometimes and you see the same dudes at the club all the time? Just the same dudes there all the time. There's no mystique to that. That takes away, ladies, a lot of ladies think that takes away the sex appeal. There's the same dude in the clubs all the damn time. What gives a dude appeal is if he pops up every blue moon. Some dude pops up, you ain't never seen him before. You know, that dude has power in that club because he's new, he's fresh. You understand? There's a mystique to that. There's a power to that. You ain't up in the joint all the time. See, Black folks, we got this thing where we're the club hoe. We're the club whores. We're just in the club all the time twerking. There's no mystique. You're predictable. All them twerking niggas about to come in any moment now. You become predictable. Anybody can have you. You understand? We got to learn how to say, now, we ain't coming to the club. We got to learn how to say, nah, we're good. I'm not coming to the club this time. You'll see me in a couple of years. I might come once a year or whatever. But I ain't about to be all up in the same little juke joint every week twerking. That looks corny. That looks corny, it looks tasteless, and it looks whack. And that's how we look, showing up regardless of anything. No matter what's going on, we're going to show up. This is why people take you for granted. We're taken for granted because they can just have any kind of shindig, and just because they said the other guys are racist, we show up. See, we got to stop playing that game. We got to stop being shameful like that. Yeah? We got to start saying, hey, we're going to charge that to the game unless there's something at that club for me. We got to stop acting desperate. And we'll shoot ourselves in the foot just to be a part of a plantation party. And again, when it comes to them giving tangibles to us, we can only get things if everybody else get things. That's a plantation platter. That's what I call a plantation platter. Every other group, they give them individual plates where they can go and build their own kitchens and build their own gardens. All of these other groups, they get individual benefits at the exclusion of us. But Black folks, in order for us to get something, we got to wait till the whole plantation comes along and eat. Say, hey, look, if you vote for this policy, I mean, you get to eat at the plantation table too. That's not a benefit. That's just a given. Those are trickle-down crumbs. See, we got to stop being those type of people that will accept that. Okay? We got to be that type of group to not accept that nonsense. All right, it's about that time right now, guys. Let me look at that. All right, So we got 8,000 people in here. Everybody hit that thumbs up button, hit that like button, because it's that time. It's about that time to show the trailer for Buck Breaking, ladies and gentlemen. Now, family, drum roll, because you guys who are watching right now, you're going to be the first people on the planet to see the official trailer for the new movie Buck Breaking coming out. We're probably going to have it ready by April of this year. Okay? We're probably going to have it out by April. Some people say they did not get a notification. They might have me on the shadow ban. I don't know. I'm not sure. What's up, Shayna? You say I have you blocked. Where do I have you blocked, Shayna? Okay, anyway, nevertheless, I get on wherever you block Shayna in a minute. But we're about to go show the trailer now. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, this is the official trailer of the movie Buck Breaking right here. Enjoy.
When we talk about Buck Breaking, we have to understand that Buck Breaking is a show of power. It's a show of dominance. So we can't talk about Buck Breaking without talking about power.
When we look at the domination of Black people by the dominant society, what we are in essence seeing is that this society wants to ensure that we are not able to actually mete out that thing that makes humans exist, and that is creating families and procreating.
See, psychologically, when we're talking about the sexualizing of our people, primarily from the dominant society or the system of white supremacy, it had to be established in a very impinging way from the mental state.
This whole notion that masculinity is somehow toxic and detrimental to society is nothing but an attempt to emasculate Black malehood.
It's clearly an agenda. If you have two eyes in your head and you're able to see, you can see that it's an agenda, and it's an agenda to decrease our population.
It's always been about destroying the Black family. The family's the foundation of a people.
The heterosexual Black male is last on the pecking order here in America. If you're just a heterosexual Black man, how are you gonna beat the case? Because when you show up to court, when you show up to the job interview, when you show up to wherever, you coming in here as a heterosexual Black man, you have no power.
When Mark Twain confessed that we, white people, ground the manhood out of the Negro. Why ground the manhood out of the Negro? Because it's Black masculinity that most exposes the fraud of white masculinity.
We, as the progenitors of culture, the ones who are the fathers and mothers of civilizations, who taught all people, who people look to for social cues, whether they want to realize it or not, I think they feel if they can get us to adapt to it, they can get everybody to adapt to it.
If anybody should have a problem with European males, it should be the European female, because everything the European male has ever learned to do to us, he first practiced on his own woman.
We need resources in education, we need resources in labor, we need resources in politics, we need resources in medical, we need resources in so many things, but they ignore that and they put millions and even billions of dollars to tell us that you need to really embrace your LBGT side. So these people have an agenda, and it's up to us to understand what the agenda is.
Boom, there it is, there it is, there it is, there it is. Boom. All right, family. As you see, we are not messing around in this joint right here. Family, we are not messing around. We are not messing around in this joint here. All y'all see we're not messing around. We are not messing around, ladies and gentlemen. Boom, round of applause for that. That made me more excited right now. Man, family, as you see, we are not playing around with this thing. Yes, this thing look very good, man. We're taking our time with it and we're making it real crisp. Man, family, we got some heavyweights in this one. We got some heavyweights in this one. Boy, we are going there. We are going there. Boy, we are going there to a place that a lot of people are scared to go to, man. This is something that's real heavy. So you know this is gonna be it's gonna be a deep one. All right. Oh yeah, we got my boy Corey Holcomb. He's in there, and I know what's going on between Corey and Zoe, and I hate that. I really hate what my brothers are going through because I rock with both of those dudes. Those are both my brothers, man, and I gotta holler at them both to see how they're doing, and hopefully hopefully that stuff can just kind of boil under and just dissipate at some point because I rock with both of those dudes, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, this is going. Family, y'all just saw 3 minutes, all right? You wish the trailer was longer. It was 3 minutes. I had to cut it down. That's the thing. We had a lot of other people in, and we just had to cut it down. I wanted to make the trailer actually 2 minutes, but the best I could do was 3. The best I could do was 3. All right. Oh man, listen, family. Listen. What y'all think that trailer was hot fire? I'm telling y'all, the trailer is the tamest thing in the movie. Family, I'm telling you, the trailer is the tamest thing in the movie. All right? Yeah, we're going to get a lot of folks upset, but you're going to have to get upset with the truth because we ain't telling no lies in this thing. All right? And look, this is a movie that's going to be 2.5 hours long. So just that, see all the information in those little 3 minutes? Just imagine you're going to get 2.5 hours of that. And we're going all the way there, man. We have to talk about the agenda that's targeting black folks now. This thing where we're afraid to talk about it. Let's go back to Biden. One thing that Biden did, one of his executive orders, what they're doing now, they're going to start letting these transgender dudes or whatever start competing in women's sports again, which isn't cool. That's not cool because that really targets a lot of black girls. That erases a lot of black girls out of the mix. You understand? So that type of stuff, I can't really co-sign that. Some dude show up and put on a wig and he gets to play women's volleyball. And then, that's not fair to the girls. And I've seen situations where they've had transgender people, men with a wig on, boxing women and he's beating the brakes off a woman. I mean, this still just physically a dude. So they send all that confusion to us, man, and it's very detrimental to us. And we got to stop being afraid to call that out. We got to stop being afraid to call a lot of this nonsense out. And we have to understand what the real agenda is. All of this, these agendas that they're promoting to us, it is not to help us. We're going into the history of how the white LGBT community has targeted black people for centuries with their anti-black rhetoric, racism. We break this stuff all the way down, man. We break it down fearlessly. Oh yeah, Erica Lachey, beautiful sister. She's in it, man. Wonderful sister. Jade is in it. Jade Arndale, she's in it. She didn't get in the trailer, but she's in it. A lot of other folks in it. James Small, he's in it. Brother, who else? Phil Valentine, James Small. Oh man, it's a lot of folks in it. Man. So it's a heavy piece. Yeah. So when are they're going to start having trans dudes playing the WNBA? When is that? That's going to happen sooner or later. That's going to happen. Yeah, that bathroom thing, man. Nah, come on, dude. I saw a lot of that in D.C. When I went to D.C., they have these unisex bathrooms, and I'm in the bathroom with these old white women, and they're looking at me funny. I'm looking at them funny. I'm like, shit, I don't want to be in here with your ass either. You know, because they can easily say, oh, damn, this nigga pulled his prick out and hit me with it. You know, I didn't like that. Yeah, Judge Joe Brown, he's in it. Yeah, you know, so we got to have some of those elder scholars. We got to have them in there. You know, we got to have that. You know? Yeah, so Brother Riza. So we got some real good information in it. And Brother Wesley Muhammad is spitting hot fire in it. So it's a real good piece, man. I cannot wait for y'all to check it out. We're going to let you know the exact date it's going to be coming out, but we're looking at April. We're looking at April of this year because we're almost completely done with the movie. We're almost done with it. We're almost done with that. Yeah? But let me say this. Did y'all hear the other day, Hank Aaron got a COVID shot, and after the COVID shot, Hank Aaron died. And look, family, there's been stories all this week of people getting COVID shots and then dying right after. Hold on, let me show y'all some stories now. Hold on, this happened out here in California right here. This happened a couple of days ago. Hold on, let me take this off. Northern California man dies hours after getting coronavirus vaccine. This was updated today. I mean, I can just go to story to story to story. I mean, this is, people take that virus vaccine and people are dropping dead left and right, dude. I mean, I'm just reporting the news. I am just reporting the news. There's a lot of people who've taken that virus vaccine and immediately drop dead. And then they act like they don't know how they died. So, with Hank Aaron, let me show y'all this. Hold on. So Hank Aaron, a few weeks ago on the 6th, Hank Aaron receives COVID-19 vaccine and hopes to inspire other Black Americans to do the same. And then a couple of weeks later, boom. Whoops, not this dude. I don't want him. No, not him. Hank Aaron, dead at 86. Okay? A couple of weeks after he took that damn vaccine, the people, oh, well, he was old. Oh, let's not get into no conspiracies. Oh, Hank Aaron was just so old. Listen, if he was so old and feeble and whatever, why give him the vaccine? Why give him a vaccine that was untested, that you don't know anything about? Why do that? See, let me put my tinfoil kufi on a minute about Hank Aaron. I'm going to put my tinfoil kufi on about Hank Aaron, guys. I got to put my tinfoil kufi on. All right? Just for a second, I got to put the tinfoil, if you don't mind, about Hank Aaron. Listen. I want y'all to understand, first of all, and I asked this on Twitter, who called Hank Aaron and asked him to participate in that PR stunt of him taking the vaccine, okay? When he took that vaccine, he kind of had his walker out there, but he looked like he was in pretty good shape for his age. Somebody called Hank Aaron and convinced him to participate in this publicity PR campaign to get Black folks to come out. I want to know who called him to do that. See, this is what we need to be asking. Who called him to get, because this was orchestrated. This was something that was set up by somebody, okay? This was orchestrated by somebody. Somebody called him and said, hey, let's do this for Black people. This was orchestrated by somebody. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you about how white supremacy works. White supremacy is a very devious thing. White supremacy and the white supremacist I don't underestimate anything about them because they will bide their time. The white supremacists, if they got a problem with a black person, they'll sit up there being fake. They'll be fake for generations. They'll be fake for 50 years and wait to get your ass. Do y'all understand what I'm... Listen, I want y'all to follow me on this so y'all can really understand white supremacy. Okay? I want y'all to follow me. Hank Aaron was one of the last people who we could consider a real civil rights icon. Okay? Hank Aaron was one of the last people that we can consider a civil rights icon who's alive today. John Lewis is not a real icon. That's a manufactured icon that white people propped up. Black people did not prop up John damn Lewis, okay? Black folks don't rock and never rock with John Lewis. With all that, thank you for beating me in Selma, I forgive you. Black people ain't never rock with John Lewis, but black folks rock with Hank Aaron, okay? We rock with Hank Aaron because Hank Aaron was a real hero to black society. Okay? And Hank Aaron did something very significant in 1974, coming right out of the civil rights movement when he broke Babe Ruth's home run record. That was something very significant. And he was a hero to black people and an enemy to white people. White people did not like Hank damn Aaron. Don't let white people fool you with all these photos. White people did not like Hank Aaron. Okay? A lot of y'all don't know this because a lot of people don't study history. Let's go into the history of it. See, the white supremacists, they like taking you out. Especially anybody who was significant in the civil rights movement, they like to either co-opt you, or if you're a real person who was significant in the civil rights movement or coming out of that era, they like the fact that they could take you out. And they'll brag about you after they've taken you out, just like with Dr. King and Malcolm X. They had to take them out in order for them to give them props. Muhammad Ali, he got, kind of brain damage and all that, so they kind of let him do his thing because they didn't like Muhammad Ali either. Let's be very clear. In Muhammad Ali's heyday, they did not like him. In Malcolm X's heyday, they did not like him. In Martin Luther King's heyday, they did not like him. Family, what's going on in 1974? Let's get into some history here. 1974 was a very significant year, especially for white people. You're coming out of the civil rights movement. White supremacist society felt like they took a lot of L's by 1974. What was going on? You had black people in 68 who forced the government into allowing fair housing. So now you had white people having to move out of these cities and go to these unknown suburbs all over the place. You had forced busing, forced schools, forced integration. So white people felt like the world was falling. 74, it was the height of that. A lot of forced busing at that time. White people, so the education system was all messed up for white people. Vietnam, remember, that was still coming. They were coming out of Vietnam, 74. America, the military lost in Vietnam. And by 74, they were showing images of the Viet Cong pushing all of those American helicopters and all that, those American machines pushing them in the water. So militarily, the white supremacists lost. White flight was massive. The movie industry was falling off. You had all these blaxploitation movies coming out where black people are beating up white folks. The Arabs were tripping on America. There was a big gas embargo at the time. Okay? So the gas prices were crazy. The people in the Middle East were tripping. A lot of stuff going on in 74. The Watergate scandal with Nixon. So now the political game was all messed up. Nixon had to resign in 74. 74 was a volatile year for white people, because of the gains that black people were perceived to have gotten. So now on top of all of this, white people got one thing. They got sports. Okay, gotta watch my sports. Oh, I gotta watch my sports. At least we got our sports. So now you got this Negro, Hank Aaron, coming out, whooping ass. He broke Babe Ruth's home run record. And that was a bit too much for white supremacist society. Family, when Hank Aaron broke that home run record, Hank Aaron received so many death threats, he got into the Guinness Book of World Records for the only person ever to have received almost 1 million letters in 1 year. Hank Aaron got almost 1 million letters in hate mail in 1 year. No other person in history had that happen to them. Okay, this is what I'm telling you. Don't let white supremacist society sit around here skinning and grinning like they liked him. Oh, he was a problem. They didn't like that he broke that home run record. They didn't like that. Babe Ruth was a major hero to white supremacist society. And Babe Ruth wasn't shit. Let's be clear. A lot of those white icons that they prop up, they weren't worth 2 dead flies. Babe Ruth was garbage. Rocky Marciano was trash. Look, Babe Ruth didn't get to play, he didn't get to play against the real thorough black player. So that he was trash. Okay? And Rocky Marciano was another one. He was trash too because the mafia was fixing fights for him. The mafia would go and kind of make his opponents take dives. So Rocky Marciano, he's overrated. So, white supremacist society, they love overrating their little jive-ass heroes. But Babe Ruth was trash. But the fact that you have this black man now, with all this segregation ending and forced busing and forced schools, forced housing, all of this stuff, they're losing the war, all this stuff. So now this black man comes in and just takes the sports game over. America's pastime, baseball, a black man took that thing over and got that home run record. Man, they were sending that man death threats. He got into the Guinness Book of World Records. His family had to be protected by the FBI. They did not like Hank Aaron, dude. Okay, let's just be very clear so y'all can understand history. So now, Hank Aaron lived a long, successful life. But you got to understand how white supremacists think. See, they like to get you. See, I don't put nothing past them. So all of a sudden, this man is 86 years old, and then he gets a call. Hey, Hank Aaron, you want to do something for the black community? Let's get this. Hey, let's get him right before he dies out. Hey, Hank, come on and won't you show your community that they should get COVID testing? Why don't you come out? See, it was very interesting why they got him to do it. You understand? It's very interesting why they got Hank Aaron to do it. There's a dozen other athletes that a lot of people know. They got Hank Aaron for a reason. Just understand that. A lot of younger folks don't really know who Hank Aaron is. Older people do. Older white people do. You better understand how they think, dude. They like to take folks out. They like to pop their collar knowing that they took you out. See, this is why they're so hell-bent on getting Assata Shakur. If Assata Shakur dies a natural death, they're going to look at that as an L. Okay? They don't want, if Assata Shakur dies a natural, peaceful death, that's an L to white supremacy. That means a sister fought white supremacy, escaped, lived her life, and won. See, they don't like to take no L's like that. That's why they still got wanted posters for Assata Shakur. Once a year, if you find any information on Assata Shakur, contact the FBI. Assata Shakur has to be in her 70s or 80s by now. She's not a threat whatsoever, but they just gotta. You can't take an L. White supremacy, they don't take an L. Yeah? Yeah, MC Hammer was named after Hank Aaron. Yeah? Yeah, they want her bad. Yeah, Biden, all of them. Yeah? So yeah, Hank Aaron was a major target. They don't like taking L's. See, this is why I'm always suspicious when black people die of these real weird reasons. Oh yeah, Bill Cosby was another one. Exactly. Bill Cosby was another one. They had to get Bill before he died. See? So they want to get you before you die. They're not going to let you see Bill made all that money and was banging all them white women. No, we ain't going to let you just die peacefully, nigga. No. We're not going to let you die peacefully. No. We're going to have to get you before you die. There's no way they should have put no damn Bill Cosby in jail, but they just had to get him. We got to get you before you go to jail. I mean, before you die. Oh, we're not going to let Prince just live a natural, long life. No, we got to get Prince, because Prince whooped the music industry's ass. He made the music industry bow down to him. See, and Prince, they don't want another person coming along thinking like Prince. Prince was a rider. We forget how smart Prince was. Prince was a very intelligent dude. He was one of the only people to tell the music industry to kiss his ass and still become successful at what he did. You understand? And was consistently successful at what he did. Michael, too. Yeah? They like to get you. Oh, they like to get you. See, they wanted to get OJ. See, they got him already, put him in jail. But see, they were getting OJ. OJ was breaking them records and banging them white women. So they want to get you. They tried to get him in 94. They know OJ didn't kill those people. They tried to pin that murder on him using a white supremacist cop. They know OJ didn't kill those people. They know those people were clicked in with all types of criminals over there at the Mezzaluna restaurant. They know that. Yeah? They got to get you. They have to get you guys. Y'all better understand how the white supremacists work. They like getting you. Yeah? They like the fact that they can manipulate things and sully your name and get you up out the paint. So don't think that this Hank Aaron thing was as random as it looks. Okay? When they got him to do the vaccine the first time, I'm like, why in the world did they give why did they go get Hank Aaron? Because a lot of younger folks, you might have heard the name, but you don't really know who Hank Aaron is. A lot of younger people are like, oh, what are they up to? Yeah, James Brown's another one. And James Brown was a rider, man. James Brown was they got James and hit him with all types of taxes and all this stuff, but James Brown was a rider. James was a rider. James Brown, that brother, man, not only did he owned his own recording studio, he owned his own radio stations, he even owned his own pressing plants. Yeah? He owned his own pressing plants. See, when black folks start owning things like that, then you got to kind of start watching your back. Hank Aaron, that brother owned a lot of businesses out there in Georgia. Hank Aaron was a very thorough businessman. Okay? That's another thing. Hank Aaron was a very thorough businessman. You know? So we got to understand the game. We're in here 10,000 deep. We're in here heavy, 10,000 people in here. Shout out to everybody in the room. Shout out to everybody in the room. But see, we got to understand, man, the white supremacists, dude, they don't believe in taking losses. When they take a loss, they'll skin and grin and go along with it, but then they be plotting on the back end. You know? When they lose at something, they like to go over and over and do reenactments on why they lost. Family, for example, down in Florida, they do reenactments of the Black Seminoles fighting the United States Army at the time. The United States Army fought the Black Seminoles down in Florida and lost. The Black Seminoles whooped their asses down there. So down there in Florida, they do these reenactments of them getting beaten by the Seminoles. Notice they always do Civil War reenactments. You notice that? I've seen white people all over the country do Civil War reenactments. Why do they do that? You don't do reenactments when you won. Okay? You don't do reenactments of something, especially warfare, if you won. White people do reenactments when they lost. And they do reenactments so they can figure out what did they do logistically that caused them to lose and how could they have improved that. See, they do all these reenactments to study what went wrong, which is smart. I give them that. I give them that. They study what did they do wrong. How could we flip this and how could we have done this differently? Yeah, in Okeechobee, Florida, every year they do Seminole reenactments where they reenact getting their asses whooped by the Black Seminoles. That's to find out how to prevent that from happening again. Yeah? See, we have to start learning how to do that. See, this is why when I talk about us being dominated by white supremacy, that's us telling the truth about what's going on so that we can fix what's wrong. See, when we start talking about what the problem is, see, that's a problem because, see, white supremacist society, they see that. They're like, oh, damn, those Negroes are on the right track. They love Negroes running around talking about how great they are. That's one thing, to talk about how great you are. Ain't no racism going to affect me. Man, I don't care about no racism. Ain't no white supremacy. I get to do what I want. They love niggas who talk like that. They love Negroes who talk like that. Because they know that Negro ain't about to challenge the system. He's comfortable in his ignorance. They know that. See, white supremacists love to promote the wishful thinking Negroes. A lot of black folks got this mentality where we're not going to admit that we took an L and we're just going to look at things with rose-colored glasses. This is why this movie, Buck Breaking, is going to be so heavy. And it's some heavy stuff in here, family. There's some stuff where we had to go there. We had to go there. We had to go deep. There's some stuff that's historically explicit that's going to be shown. So, you got to prepare yourself when you see some of this stuff. And it's going to be very touchy for a lot of people because a lot of it, we're talking about something that a lot of black folks, especially black men, don't want to talk about, how black men were sexually dominated by the white supremacists. See, that's been a little secret that's been held by black people and by white society. They don't like to talk about how they were raping black men and doing all this stuff to black men and chopping black men's penises off and keeping the penises as souvenirs. They don't like talking about it, but they talk about it among themselves. And black folks hate talking about the fact that you were in a situation where these white supremacists could buck break you, and take your manhood. We're going to have to deal with that. Let's deal with that and let's talk about it. See, this is about reenacting so we can see what went wrong. Man, I don't want to talk about it. Let's talk about something great. Let's talk about the pyramids and shit. No, let's talk about what went wrong. Let's talk about where we done messed up. Well, these white men out here raping cats and still doing it now. Let's talk about it. And see where we went wrong and what we can do to rectify it. Instead of dudes out here getting buck broken every day because the white supremacists tell you that you're going to get benefits and resources if you put on them booty shorts and do a little twerking. See, they incentivize dudes to give up their manhood now. See, they tell you that being a masculine black man is toxic, but you got wearing your booty shorts with a sundress and some flip-flops where you're progressive. See? They're finessing people right now. We got to stop being the people who are so easily finessed. We got to get out that wish for the best mentality. Even now, man, with Biden supporters, and I've said this, man, I tweeted something that went viral. I said, black Biden supporters are the weakest link in black society. And I stand by that 100%. I've had some Biden people mad. I don't give a damn. I look at Biden supporters as Sambos at this point. I look at you as Sambos. Y'all will not sit up here and point your finger telling us how racist Trump is and you guys are supporting damn Biden. Biden, 3 strikes, a mass incarceration crime bill Biden. Nah, we're not going to play that game. And then you got black folks out here who voted for Biden, and y'all done sat up here trying to shame black people into voting for Biden too. And we're telling you, hey, Biden and Kamala both are not offering us anything. Man, come on now, baby. You've got to wait until they get in office. Now let them get in office. They can't say it now. Ooh, hush your mouth now. They can't talk about it now because the other white folks will get mad. But look, they on our team now. You just got to understand, they can't say it, but when they get in office, you gonna see. We just got to wait and see. Let him get in office now. Let him get in office. He's been in office for 47 years. You sound like a Trump supporter. Shit. All you can do is buck eyes. All y'all can do is buck your damn eyes. Dumbass. Biden voters are like hood rats. They think like hood rats, and that's how they pander to them like hood rats. I see a lot of the Democrat folks, black Democrats, complaining now. Man, Biden sound like he tricked us. I don't want to hear no complaints from y'all now. Some of those Black Lives Matter folks are tweeting stuff. Man, I think we got fooled by Biden. Biden ain't living up to the promises. Really? Don't talk that. That's hood rat talk. Don't sit around here being mush-mouth and talking about how Biden didn't live up to his promise. He didn't promise you anything. See? He has plausible deniability. Biden didn't promise anything. They're sitting up here using vague terms like racial equality, and then they'll turn around and say, well, immigration, that's racial equality. The Green New Deal, that's racial equality because black folks like air. Black people breathe, and you disproportionately have asthma. So they play this little dumbass game with black folks, and y'all sit up, well, I guess that's true. We got to stop being the dumbasses of the community out here. I don't want to hear no complaints from a Biden voter at all. Biden voters are like hood rats who go out in the neighborhood and bang every nigga and then act shocked because they're pregnant. Ooh, damn, how did it happen? Damn. Pregnant again? What am I gonna do with these babies? This pregnancy test can't be real. Lord Jesus. Lord, pray for me and my child. That's how y'all act. Do stupid ass nonsense and then act surprised and shocked, and you start praying and crying when you turn up pregnant. You done banged every nigga, and the niggas done ran trains on you. Now you pregnant and acting like now you praying and crying. Oh, Lord Jesus, pray for me, Lord Jesus. That's how y'all goofballs act. You vote for Biden and then act surprised that he ain't giving you nothing. And he done told you he wasn't going to give you nothing. But no. They sat here and treated you like a dumbass kid. They had a damn talent show. That's all it was at the White House. They had a big-ass talent show. And Negroes love to show their little talent off and perform. Y'all wanted to go to the talent show. Y'all bragging about what Michelle Obama had on. Ooh, look at this. Ooh, Miss Obama didn't come to play. She came to slay. All that old sassy goofball nonsense. Simple Sambos. God damn y'all niggas, man. Whew. I can't with y'all, man. Some of these Sambos, I can't do it. We're going to have to leave them behind, man. And look, with Biden and those guys, they're pushing some laws now. From what I understand, Biden got some shit now where they're not letting over people from South Africa. They're going to have a ban on South African people coming over. They got some laws coming down now because of the thing that happened at the Capitol riot. They got some protester laws now where it's going to be justified to shoot and or run over protesters. I want y'all to look that up. There's going to be laws now where they're going to justify. If you run over some protesters, you're going to be justified. And if you shoot protesters, you're going to be justified based on what happened up in Washington, D.C. with the Capitol riot. Now, what's interesting, those laws are not going to apply to those white supremacists because they're not using any kind of harsh laws on them now. They're not going to be shooting them white supremacists. The white supremacists ran amok and only one white woman got shot. You understand? So they're not going to be using none of those laws on those white supremacists. And even to call it a protest law, those white supremacists weren't no damn protesters. These people were insurrectionists. They weren't up there with no damn signs. They were up there with guns and pipe bombs and zip ties. They weren't out there talking about no justice, no damn peace. So to even call a law a protest law based on that is already deceptive. Yeah? It's heavy out here, man. It is heavy out here. Before I go, I'm going to show the trailer again for some of the people who are new in the room. If you came in new, I'm going to show the trailer one more again in a minute before I get off. But again, family, there's a problem with black people allowing all of these other groups to co-opt our culture. A part of foundational Black American culture is sharing our culture with other people. See, we don't put a fence around our culture as foundational Black Americans. Why? Because we're so creative, we can create things over and over again. That's the unique thing about foundational Black Americans. Yeah? We can create different forms of culture and different styles and different foods and different styles of dress, different dance moves, different music genres. We can just create stuff, different types of slang. We're always creating things, different memes, different types of film series like what I do. So we're always creating things. And we're like, okay, we can create some more stuff tomorrow. So y'all can have this, you can take credit in that. And that's a problem. That is a problem, family, that we allow other people to co-opt so many of the things that foundational Black Americans create and so many things that are a part of our culture. They co-opt things from us and then tell us we don't have a culture because they've co-opted it. I mean, we're very creative people. One thing, family, we're going to have to stop this narrative of them claiming that hip-hop was something started by Blacks and Puerto Ricans. Family, this narrative, we've been seeing this narrative a lot. Not only is this narrative a lie, this narrative is very dangerous. I want all my hip hop heads and I want my New Yorkers in here, people who grew up in the Bronx, in the 70s. Family, we're going to have to stop these damn lies. To sit up and say that Blacks and Puerto Ricans created hip hop is a big, funky, festering, blistering ass lie. There's zero truth to that. And the people telling that lie know ain't no truth to it. Y'all know good and well, didn't no damn Puerto Ricans help create no hip hop. Let's stop lying and playing. Do we have any Puerto Ricans in here? Let's stop the games. I love Busta Rhymes. Unfortunately, my brother Busta Rhymes be promoting that. That's not love Busta. Busta is a phenomenal performer. That's so not true. I think Spike Lee, I was one of the Kickstarter executive producers on one of Spike Lee's movies. Spike knows better. A lot of folks who are in the industry, they say that shit so they can pander to the white Hispanic audience. Because a lot of the audience for hip hop now, a lot of Hispanics, a lot of white people. So that's something to kind of pander to them. Y'all don't do that. Y'all stop telling that lie. Puerto Ricans had zero to do with the creation and or influence of hip hop. I notice a lot of Caribbean people try to tell that lie because they see Puerto Ricans as fellow Caribbeans and they have more of a camaraderie with Puerto Ricans because they're immigrants like them. That's a dangerous lie. Puerto Ricans did not create anything in hip hop. I'm telling you, nothing. When we start saying, okay, name these Puerto Ricans who did all this creating, they start talking about people from the 80s. Well, the Rocksteady crew. The Rocksteady crew came around later, dude. Hip hop was already established. The Rocksteady crew and all those other, they came late 70s, early 80s. Hip hop was already established. They didn't bring anything to the table. They just started emulating what the black folks were doing. Somebody said it came from the Caribbean. No, it didn't. That's another lie. Let's get into some truth here. Hip hop did not come from the damn Caribbean. Let's stop telling that lie. Kool Herc came from the Caribbean, one brother. Kool Herc, let's tell it now. Kool Herc, when he came to America, Kool Herc just got a lot of what was already going on and basically put it in one place. The Caribbean did not influence hip hop over here, family. Let's get to truth to power. The Caribbean culture had zero influence on hip hop. Some people say, well, they were doing toasting in the Caribbean. Toasting came from Jamaicans coming to America in the 1950s, listening to these DJs on the radio doing these rhymes. You had radio DJs all in the 40s and 50s on the radio rhyming and rapping, dude. And the Caribbeans saw that and took it back to Jamaica, and they started doing the toasting based on that. They got it from foundational Black Americans and American DJs. Also, those Caribbean songs, if you listen to those old school reggae Caribbean songs, a lot of them were doing kind of a Caribbean version of the Motown sound. You understand? Let's tell the truth here. I'm talking history. I am a foundational Black American, and I know foundational Black American history. I want to know what damn Puerto Rican brought what to hip hop. What the hell did they bring to hip hop that Black folks were not already solidified in doing? See, we got to stop sharing everything with everybody and saying they created some shit they ain't got nothing to do with, because that's colonizer stuff. They come in and co-opt what we're doing, and then they colonize it, and then we're left out of it. Family, what are the elements of hip hop? See, well, let's break it down. When people start talking, let's break it all down. Let's break down the damn elements. DJing, b-boying, rapping, graffiti. Those are the main ones. And then what beatboxing comes in later. And some people say the fashion, okay? Some people say the fashion. So we'll just deal with four. Fashion, DJing, b-boying, graffiti. Okay, so we'll deal with four. The four main elements, okay? Let's deal with the four main elements. Let's go there. B-boying. Let's go to the dancing. Puerto Ricans didn't influence break dancing or b-boying or hip-hop dances. Hip-hop dances came from cats looking at James Brown. They were looking at James Brown. Black folks were doing our dances, and then in the early 70s, you had Soul Train, you had people doing the up-rock popping and all that and locking. So Black folks were already doing dances that would become a staple of hip-hop. But all the groundwork, all the spinning around on the ground, a lot of that came from James Brown, okay? The Puerto Ricans started doing that shit later. They had nothing to do with the creation of some of the dances that were part of early breaking and b-boying. We had Soul Train, and the key word is soul. It wasn't Goya Train, it was Soul Train. God damn it. Fuck y'all talking about? Let's just get into history, man. We got to break this stuff down slow. It wasn't Salsa Train, it was Soul Train, dude. Had brothers and sisters getting it in. Give our people their damn credit, man. We ain't got to stomp on our sisters and brothers and sisters' legacy to give props to other people. Man, we had a phenomenal foundational Black American dancers getting it in on TV every week, influencing the culture. Let's get into the DJing. Okay, DJing. When Kool Herc came over, remember, in New York, there were already people DJing in the parks. What Herc did, he came and just started playing the straight break beats from funk records. Kool Herc himself said he did not play Caribbean music because the audiences didn't like it. Kool Herc himself said he did not play Caribbean music. The audience didn't like it. So I don't know where y'all getting this shit about Caribbean influence on hip hop, because really understand, especially in the 60s, wasn't a lot of Caribbeans over here like that. A lot of non-FBA black folks weren't here until like the late 60s, early 70s. And they weren't here fast enough to influence us to do anything. What Kool Herc did, he came and brought that sound system and put a lot of stuff together that black people are already doing. Okay? He was cutting up funk records by black artists from America. He was cutting up them funk breaks. Yeah? And you had other people who were DJs. King Mario, a lot of people are kind of saying King Mario was there first. That's another name that's been floating around and that's been subject of debate for a long time, okay? There was some cats out of Grandmaster Flowers. Some people were saying that he was one of the early people putting together jams out there and who was a big unsung hero of hip hop early on. So there were people out there in New York, out there in the parks, jamming too, okay? Before Herc. Not to take anything away from Herc, I give Herc his props. But when Herc was playing breaks and he had an MC, Coke La Rock was the first MC. Coke La Rock's family's from North Carolina. Let's get into the MCing. Coke La Rock's family is from North Carolina. Also, you had Here Come the Judge by Pig Meat Markham, which is basically the first rap record where somebody's rapping in 8-bar rhythmic syllables through the whole record over a beat. Doing it in the same cadence that we use now. Pig Meat Markham was doing that, a foundational black American. We can go back farther than that. Some of those gospel quartets they've been rapping. I've heard recordings going back to the 1920s where brothers and sisters are doing rhythmic rhymes over beats that are early forms of rap. We've been doing that. Let's not forget Muhammad Ali, when he was doing those rhymes, that was influential on the hip hop genre. He was a hero to black society all over the world. He was doing those rhymes. Remember what was going on in the late 60s, early 70s. Dolomite, Rudy Ray Moore was doing those rhymes. H. Rap Brown, the word rap, which was a common word in the 1960s, you had H. Rap Brown who would write these rhymes and these raps. He would write them and people would read his books and stuff in prisons. Yeah, we had Blowfly, The Last Poets, man, Gil Scott-Heron. Let's go there, man. Let's talk. Where did the Puerto Ricans come from? You see what I'm saying? Look at all these. I can name you the black people. Name me some of these damn Puerto Ricans now. I'm naming black folks left and right who influenced the genre. I don't know where these Puerto Ricans are. Show me some Puerto Ricans around the same damn time. Don't come showing me a Puerto Rican from 1980. Hip hop was already established by then. Don't come showing me Crazy Legs. I like Crazy Legs, but no. Don't talk about Charlie Chase, who DJ'd for Cold Crush, and Charlie Chase came later, who had no real influence on hip hop. He was just doing what other black DJs was doing. You dig? Where were the Puerto Ricans at this time? Let's keep it a buck. Let's not talk this dumb shit and you can't name no names. Where were the Puerto Ricans that were around in the late 60s, early 70s? That's when hip hop was being created there. Everything was coming together then. I'm talking about any element of it. All right, let's get, some people might say, well, the Puerto Ricans were doing the graffiti. Okay? Well, it was the Puerto Ricans, they were real big on graffiti. I know Lady Pink and Quinones, I forgot his name. It was another dude from the 80s or whatever. Y'all start naming people from the 80s. Even the graffiti family, we're going to talk graffiti. The Puerto Ricans didn't create the modern graffiti tagging as we see it now. The modern graffiti tagging that we see now, modern graffiti was started by one black dude out of Philly. Graffiti as we know it really got started in Philadelphia. It was a black dude who, like 16 years old, around 1965, was a black dude named Cornbread out of Philadelphia who started graffiti as we know it. Tagging, Taki 183 was a Greek dude who came after Cornbread. Taki 183 was copying Cornbread out of Philly. Y'all Google some of this stuff I'm talking about. Taki 183 was a Greek white dude who was going around New York, spray painting everything, but he got that shit from cornbread out of Philadelphia. The graffiti as we know it, all that tagging, came out of Philly first. Now that's either the truth or it's not the damn truth. You see, we got to talk this stuff. Philly started that, man. We got to give our folks our props on certain things. There was a dude named Cornbread. Philly was real big on that graffiti thing. See, we just kind of put everything in the Bronx, but we don't talk about where it came from. See, a lot of people who were going to the Bronx were coming in from other people. A lot of people going to New York were coming in from other places, rather. I'm sorry. They were coming in and bringing cultures in from other places. Where did they get all this stuff from? You see? A lot of this stuff ain't got nothing to do with no damn Puerto Rican. It was black folks in all these other cities around the country doing all this stuff. Even a lot of the dances, family, a lot of the dances that are staples in hip hop now, a lot of things came out of the Bay Area, to be honest. And I don't think the Bay Area gets enough credit for its influence on hip hop culture and dance culture, especially Oakland. Oakland had some of the best dancers ever, and people do not give Oakland the credit for that. Oakland had phenomenal damn dancers. A lot of the strutting and all of those dances which would become poppin' and wave, all of that, a lot of that stuff came out of Oakland in particular. They got phenomenal dancers up there. That's Hammer and all them niggas. That's why Hammer is such a phenomenal dancer. Hammer ain't the only one. I've been to clubs in Oakland before with just 1,000 Hammers in there. Everybody in there dance like Hammer, getting it in. They get it in Oakland. But you got to understand, a lot of people who are from Oakland, a lot of them their families came from either Texas or Louisiana. So a lot of that stuff came from the South up to Oakland. So we got to understand how migrations went. Yeah? We got to understand how a lot of migrations went. A lot of dances you would see in the 60s would come from Chicago, would come out of the Bay. And a lot of people from Chicago and the Bay and all those folks, they come from the South. A lot of people from Chicago, their family origin is usually somewhere in Mississippi or Tennessee. If you're in Chicago, a lot of you have roots in Mississippi because we got to look at where the train routes went. A lot of cities that were east of the Mississippi River, a lot of the trains would just take straight shots. For example, you could take a train straight to Chicago from Mississippi. So a lot of folks just hopped on that train and went to Mississippi. A lot of black folks from like Alabama and Memphis, Kentucky, they just took a straight shot up to Cleveland and Detroit. A lot of people from Detroit, their families from Alabama. Now, west of the Mississippi, the train routes were a little different. A lot of people from Louisiana and Texas moved to either LA or the Bay. Yeah? You dig? But again, I'm giving you the origins of a lot of this stuff, and Puerto Rico ain't nowhere on the menu. Puerto Rico ain't nowhere on the damn menu. No, somebody in the room said, man, it's just, come on now, it ain't started from no Alabama, it came from the Bronx. Well, nigga, y'all up here giving props to damn Puerto Ricans who didn't bring in nothing. You gonna deny the cat from Alabama or the cat from Philly who, for real, was doing graffiti before everybody. You're gonna deny that dude from Philly, but you give props to Rico Suave or whoever who didn't do anything. Puerto Ricans had zero to do with the creation and or the influence of hip hop. None. I'm talking about zero. Y'all giving them props just for living in the damn Bronx. That's bullshit. Y'all giving them props for simply living in the Bronx. That's really all you giving them props for. I'm not dumping on Puerto Ricans, by the way. I'm not dumping on y'all. But I'm just talking history. Everything I'm saying is straight history. Y'all did some great things in Puerto Rico, I assume. But when we're talking about our culture, I'm not going to sit here and lie and act like somebody did something they didn't do. If you did it, what did you do and when did you do it and who did it? Because I can name names. I can name the the one person who started this, the one black person. I can name the black people. Ain't nobody giving me no Puerto Rican names of who started all this stuff. And let's keep it a buck family. And we're gonna have to be honest, because a lot of folks like to revise history. And the Puerto Ricans, when they came over to New York, the Puerto Ricans weren't all integrated with black people like that. Let's stop that lie too. When the Puerto Ricans came to New York in the Bronx, see, they have little TV shows and movies like that show, The Get Down on Netflix, like all the blacks and Puerto Ricans were all together on some kumbaya. Blacks and Puerto Ricans in the Bronx weren't kicking it with each other like that. Stop lying. All y'all niggas need to stop that lying. Blacks and Puerto Ricans were not kicking it with each other in the damn Bronx like that in the damn 70s, and you know it. The Puerto Ricans would segregate themselves away from black folks. I want y'all to stop lying about history. That's why them gangs, Puerto Ricans would go to New York and start Puerto Rican gangs against niggas. That's why all those gang wars were going on. Those gang wars in the Bronx was because of the ethnic differences. Let's stop lying about history with this fake black-brown coalition that didn't exist. The Puerto Ricans were not on some kumbaya with black folks in the Bronx. You want some proof? Let me play Grandmaster Cass. Let's hear from a real legend. Because I love Cass. Grandmaster Cass is one of these people who's very honest about all the stuff that went down. Grandmaster Cass is one of the few, some of the older cats who was really, really there, who ain't really trying to pander to no mainstream audience. They kind of keep it a buck. Grandmaster Cass even said, hey man, the Puerto Ricans, they just came, the dances, the Puerto Rican break dances and b-boys, they came later. They just started imitating the shit we was doing way later. They came way later. They didn't have anything to do with what we were doing. But let me play Grandmaster Cass, because one of his partners was a Puerto Rican dude, one of his best friends. And let me play Cass. Hold on, let me play Cass in his own words. This is Grandmaster Cass letting y'all know what the real deal was in the Bronx as far as the creation of hip hop and all
directly that much in the early days of hip hop. Directly that much in the early days of hip hop. They were one or two. One or two. My partner, Disco Wiz, my first DJ partner in hip hop, he used to beat up people in the street for telling them, why you hanging with them niggas? Why you hanging with Morenos? Well, he was what?
Okay, now I want y'all, the first part it didn't get in. It said the Latinos were not a part of hip hop. It was only one or two. That's what he said. Latinos were not a part of early hip hop. It was only one or two around.
Directly that much in the early days of hip hop. They were one or two. One or two. My partner, Disco Wiz, my first DJ partner in hip hop, he used to beat up people in the street for telling them, why you hanging with them niggas? Why you hanging with Morenos? Well, he was what, Puerto Rican? He was Puerto Rican, half Cuban. Okay. And we were together every day, like brothers, you know what I mean? Dressed, everything, you know what I mean? And he would always catch flack from Puerto Ricans for being with me, you know what I mean? And he'd knock them the fuck out, you know what I mean? But, so when in like 78, 79, more Latinos started migrating toward hip hop, you know what I mean, and start dancing as b-boys and stuff. They kind of changed the whole fabric of the breakdancing thing as b-boys, but it was a gradual thing as far as Puerto Ricans getting involved into hip hop. Puerto Rico was playing congas and timbales in the park while we was playing turntables. All right, so they are guests.
Boom. All right. Right there. That's Grandmaster Cass right there, a real legend. All right. That's Cass. And Cass is one of the few people that'll tell the damn truth. I respect that. Because when I study, these migrations and all that, I'm like, knowing the history of the Puerto Ricans going into New York and them always segregating themselves from black society, I'm like, where's all this Puerto Rican and blacks created? Man, get the hell out of here with that, dude. It never happened. That just didn't happen. That didn't happen, dude, right there. So that's straight out of the horse's mouth, man. Y'all stop lying. Puerto Ricans were playing congos and they were out there doing salsa when brothers was out there at the park jamming. They didn't have nothing to do with that. They're guests in this. They didn't create no damn hip hop. Let's stop playing that game. Hip hop was a foundational Black American creation. All the elements came from foundational Black Americans, and our brother Kool Herc came and brought those elements together, and we give him props for that. But to say it's a Caribbean influence, that's not true, and it's damn sure not a Puerto Rican influence. Just because Puerto Ricans started imitating the brothers later doesn't mean that they're the creators of it. That's just not true. Yeah, that's another one of those immigrants built this country nonsense. You ding? That's another immigrants built this nation nonsense, which is not true. They love telling these lies out here, and we sit up here allowing these people to do that. Yeah? See, that's very dangerous for letting that happen. See, this is why we have Jennifer Lopez up here doing Motown songs, messing them up. See, y'all let people latch on to the things we create, and you let them vulture their way in it. That's a problem. Yeah? We start letting people vulture their way in the game, that is a problem. You know? So we have to know when to say, hey, stay away from our culture. Stay away. You do your thing, because they don't let us in their stuff. See, they don't let us take credit for none of the stuff, and a lot of their culture, there's African influences in it. Yeah, they deny the Africanness of their cultures and the food dishes and all that. They deny the Africanness of those cultures. They act like it was Spanish. See, they give all the credit to Europe. See, in their culture, they got a habit of denying the Africanness of their culture and giving all the props to Europe. I told you, when I went to the Dominican Republic, I went to a museum, and there's a sister there, my color, with textured hair, just like me, sitting up here talking about her Spanish heritage. And our Spanish forefathers, when they came, and I'm listening to her keep talking about Spain, and I'm waiting on her to get to the African thing, and she never did. I'm like, we ain't gonna get to the blackness, nothing. She's talking like she was a Spaniard. You there? I mean, she was going on and on about being a Spaniard. See, they love doing that. See, they sit up and play a minority when it's convenient, but they identify with Spanish people, which is Europe. That's what they identify with. Yeah, they identify with Spain. Sometimes they'll try to act like they identify with the Taino Indian or some of the indigenous native people, but then they got problems with that too, because let's be very clear. A lot of the Aboriginal people were black-skinned people too. Don't trip on what you see in these movies. What you see on these movies, see, they've whitened or lightened a lot of people up. Like when you look at the movie, y'all remember Apocalypto? So they kind of Mongolianized the native people down there, because really those people were darker than that and they had more textured hair than that down there. When you look at the movie Apocalypto, if you look at the movie Apocalypto, they would have these braid wigs on people, because I've been down there to that area where they were, that whole film thing was made, where it was based on, close to the Caribbean. And you saw the bone and pack people. These people were dark-skinned folks with dreadlocks down there, the Aboriginal people, some of those Mayan people. You understand? When you go down there, you see the real deal. You start going down there to South America and look at some of those old artifacts, man. You got these statues with big ass lips, big noses. Yeah, Taino meant black skin. Yeah, that was a Mel Gibson movie. Yeah, it's a good movie. Apocalypto is a good movie. It's a good movie. They had to put extra on the looks. They had to, have them, give them the Mongolian look, because that's what they do. They tell us that all the native people on North and South American land were the Mongolian-looking Native Americans. There were some tribes like that. A lot of people were people with our features, with the classical black features. But we were enslaved. We are the remnants of that too, for the most part. We got mixed in with some of the African brothers who got brought over. But if we were to go back in time, we would see tribes of people looking just like us, especially in the coastal areas. On California, all of California was just a bunch of black, dark-skinned native people. Also on the East Coast, you had the Yamasee, very black-skinned people who became the slaves over there. They became the Negro slaves over there. It's some heavy stuff. And that Apocalypto movie was interesting. At the very end, when they were chasing each other, they were fighting each other, because that was the Apocalypto movie. That was basically the decline of the Mayan Empire. And while they were fighting each other and chasing each other, you saw the Europeans show up, which is interesting. And when you look at the end of Apocalypto, the European that showed up, that was Christopher Columbus's brother. The person, it was a bunch of missionaries on those Spanish ships, and it was one old white man with like a metal outfit on. That was Bartholomew Columbus. That was Christopher Columbus's brother, because he showed up in that area around 1502, and they would document all of the black people that they saw down there in South America. You know what I'm saying? Columbus's brother and son, all those folks, when they came to the mainland, they would talk about all these black folks they saw. Yeah, which is interesting. Yeah, so yeah, when the white supremacists showed up, it's like you're jumping out of the water right into the frying pan with them. You know a movie I saw, and I got to see American Skin. I got to see that. I haven't seen it yet. A lot of people are saying see that. I saw the Salt and Pepper movie on Lifetime. I saw the Salt. I actually like the Salt and Pepper movie. I like the Salt and Pepper movie. It's about the life of Salt and Pepper. And some people say they didn't like it. I liked it. Some people were complaining. I know Spinderella was complaining because they didn't really depict her in the movie like that. They didn't depict her storyline. So I liked it because it was Lifetime. So with Lifetime, you kind of know what you're going to get. Lifetime, when they did that Aaliyah movie, it was so janky. Anything is better, at this point on Lifetime. But I actually liked the movie. The two girls who played Salt and Pepper, I think they did a real good job. I think they did a very good job. And it's Lifetime, so Lifetime is going to always have to put the BS on it, but that's to be expected. I still give the sisters props on their performances. Very lovely sisters, and they did a very good job. But with Lifetime, they always got to put an Ike Turner character in there, and they had Tretch playing Ike Turner, basically. They had Tretch as the Ike Turner. They always got to put the bad black man in there, the abusive black man. Didn't Lifetime do, what movie did they do? Did they do the Michelle A movie? Was the Michelle A movie on Lifetime? I remember that Michelle A movie, and it was horrible. That was so horrible. But wasn't that from Lifetime too? Well, they had Dr. Dre acting like Ike Turner. It was so over the top. Yeah, don't give no spoilers away on American Skin. Don't give no money on American Skin. I mean, no spoilers on American Skin. Yeah, they kind of made Tretch look bad. Yeah, Lifetime did. Oh, that was horrible. My dude, Lonzo, he called into my broadcast. He was like, man, some of this stuff they got me doing, because they were depicting him in there. He was like, I ain't do none of that. I don't know where they get that shit from. But yeah, they had Dr. Dre in there acting like Grandmaster Jay. It was so over the top, man. It was like, oh, I was gonna beat you. Don't beat me, Trey. I was beat you good. Now you better get in there and sing. Oh no, don't beat me. Okay, it was like, wow. Like, that doesn't even seem like Dre's personality. It was just so over the top. Yeah, they did Surviving R. Kelly and Surviving Compton. Stop. But, yeah, Herbie, yeah, one thing about the Salt and Pepper movie, well, the women could kind of get away with the wigs, but the wigs on the dudes was kind of janky. People were saying they were using the Tyler Perry collection for the men. Now, the women's wigs were fine because the hair, it looked like that. The hair was all out there during the 80s. And it was very nostalgic seeing the outfits and all that stuff. But the dude's hair, boy, they had the dude's hair was looking a little, janky. And some of the scenes, poor Herbie, they had the dude playing Herbie. They had some little janky dust mop dreads on this dude. They had this nigga looking like buckwheat. I'm like, man, this brother. But one thing I saw in between the commercials, they had, they're going to do a Wendy Williams biopic on Lifetime. Did y'all see that? They had commercials for the Wendy Williams biopic. And I'm looking at it. I'm like, and I know some of y'all thought it too. Some of y'all thought this too. Like, the chick they got playing Wendy Williams, ain't she a little too cute to play Wendy Williams? I'm like, oh, I shouldn't think that. Oh, I shouldn't think that. I'm like, this woman is kind of cute. This might not work. I don't know. She might be too cute to play Wendy. I don't know what. I'm like, man, maybe they should have got Laverne Cox to play Wendy Williams or something. Oh. Well, yeah, the woman, I'm looking like, I don't know. Yeah, the woman is just a tad too cute to play Wendy. Not to be janky with it, but yeah. She's a little too cute to be Wendy. I'm like, oh, that ain't no damn Wendy. Oh, hold on. Y'all better get somebody else. This ain't it. No, Wendy ain't that cute. Oh, I ain't trying to hate, but Wendy ain't that cute. Boy, if y'all don't go get Sinbad and put a wig on him and put him in this movie and stop playing, go get you a nice, strong man. Then I'll be convinced. This woman is too damn cute to be Wendy Williams. I'm sorry. Shit. Come on, man. Lord. But that's going to be interesting. Say, Wendy used to be cute, though? Okay. All right. Man. But anyway, y'all, I'm gonna play the trailer one more time for those who did not see the trailer for the Buck Breaking movie. I'm gonna play the trailer one more time. Buck Breaking coming soon. Here's the trailer one more time before I get out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Let me play the trailer for those who did not see. This is the trailer for Buck Breaking.
When we talk about buck breaking, we have to understand that buck breaking is a show of power. It's a show of dominance. So we can't talk about buck breaking without talking about power.
When we look at the domination of Black people by the dominant society, what we are in essence seeing is that this society wants to ensure that we are not able to actually mete out that thing that makes humans exist, and that is creating families and procreating.
See, psychologically, when we're talking about the sexualizing of our people, primarily from the dominant society or the system of white supremacy, it had to be established in a very impinging way from the mental state.
This whole notion that masculinity is somehow toxic and detrimental to society is nothing but an attempt to emasculate Black malehood.
It's clearly an agenda. If you have two eyes in your head and you're able to see, you can see that it's an agenda, and it's an agenda to decrease our population.
It's always been about destroying the Black family. The family's the foundation of a people.
The heterosexual Black male is last on the pecking order here in America. If you're just a heterosexual black man, how are you gonna beat the case? Because when you show up to court, when you show up to the job interview, when you show up to wherever, you coming in here as a heterosexual black man, you have no power.
When Mark Twain confessed that we white people ground the manhood out of the Negro. Why ground the manhood out of the Negro? Because it's black masculinity that most exposes the fraud of white masculinity.
We, as the progenitors of culture, the ones who are the fathers and mothers of civilizations, who taught all people, who people look to for social cues, whether they want to realize it or not, I think they feel if they can get us to adapt to it, they can get everybody to adapt to it.
If anybody should have a problem with European males, it should be the European female. Because everything the European male has ever learned to do to us, he first practiced on his own woman.
We need resources in education, we need resources in labor, we need resources in politics, we need resources in medical, we need resources in so many things, but they ignore that and they put millions and even billions of dollars to tell us that you need to really embrace your LBGT side. So these people have an agenda, and it's up to us to understand what the agenda is.
And there it is, boom. So this is a heavy piece, man. It's gonna be a heavy piece. I can't wait for the family to watch the entire movie. Family, we gotta go there, man. We gotta go there. This movie ain't attack, because I've seen people, I hope, man, is this attacking black LGBT? No. This is exposing the anti-black racism that comes from the white LGBT community and how the black nuclear family is under attack. That's the problem. The black nuclear family is under attack, family. When they buck break the men, you're buck breaking the women and children as well. So this is a conversation we gotta have, and so many people are afraid to have this conversation. So we're gonna do it, man. I cannot wait till the movie come out. I hope I don't get banned from any other countries, because if Hidden Colors 5 got me banned from Europe, I probably won't be able to go to Greece, Rome, I don't know. But this one is going to be a heavy one, and I can't wait to share it with the family when it comes out. So I keep you guys posted. We're looking at April. Hopefully we can get it out before April, but the latest is going to be April of this year. Hopefully before, because we're almost done. We're putting the finishing touches on it now. So we're still in the middle of production of it. We're almost done, but this thing is going to be a monster, man. So anyway, man, I'm going to holler at y'all. In the meantime, y'all need to go get Hidden Colors 1 through 5 at hiddencolorsfilm.com. Get the movie 1804, 1804movie.com. Go to officialfba.com to get your Foundation of Black American flags and bandanas and all that good stuff. Officialfba.com, ladies and gentlemen. Get your car flag. Y'all need to be rolling around with your car flags. Officialfba.com, ladies and gentlemen. And y'all follow me on Instagram at Tariq Elite. Follow me at Tariq Elite on Instagram,